90-day fiancé friends, please watch the full video and please subscribe. Jasmine's life in the U.S. was never easy, but it was hers until the constant threat of deportation loomed. As a single mother with 2 children, Jasmine had already been through enough struggles. However, now that her kids' visas were under review, the possibility of being separated from them or worse, sent back to Panama alone, was becoming a horrifying reality. With Gino's legal troubles making things even more complicated, Jasmine had to face whether her American dream was worth fighting for. Despite the love she once shared with Gino, their relationship was in freefall. Accusations flew between them, leading to a series of tense arguments. Jasmine realized that Gino's own issues were only adding to her problems. His mistakes, combined with her mounting fears about her children's future, meant she couldn't count on him to support her in these critical moments. The breakup felt inevitable, but would she be able to navigate the future alone? Jasmine had always believed she could make a life for herself in the U.S. She worked hard to establish a career and a sense of belonging, but now, with mass deportations a real threat, everything seemed to be slipping away. The legal system and the media were full of chaos, and she couldn't trust anyone's promises. Even the thought of returning to Panama seemed impossible, especially with the children's futures hanging in the balance. The looming question was, what would Jasmine do if her kids' visas were denied? She had spent so many years working toward her American life, but what if she couldn't stay? Would she leave her children behind to return to Panama? Or would she fight the system, even if it meant risking everything? The stakes had never been higher for Jasmine. She needed to find a solution, and quickly. Jasmine had always been careful about family planning, but an unexpected surprise came when she found out she might be pregnant. This revelation added an entirely new layer of stress to the already complex situation. Could she raise a baby in the midst of a tumultuous immigration crisis? And would this child change her plans for the future? Her pregnancy could either be a blessing or a curse, depending on how everything played out. As Gino continued to make mistakes and their relationship deteriorated, Jasmine felt more isolated than ever. She was now facing not only the possible end of her love story, but also the real possibility of having to go back to Panama alone, without her children, without Gino, and with a potential baby to care for. Her dream of a stable life in America was crumbling, and Jasmine could no longer avoid the fact that she might have to fight for her future, and that fight could mean staying in the U.S., no matter what. Jasmine didn't have many options. With the children's visa applications still pending, her pregnancy adding more complications, and Gino being less than helpful, she realized the only way forward was to fight. But how? Could she survive without the support of her estranged fiancé? Could she face the reality of staying in a country that might not want her, let alone her children? The fight would take all of her strength, and she was prepared to do whatever it took. As the deadline loomed, Jasmine came to a conclusion. Her children's futures and her own would be decided by her actions. With or without Gino, she would not go back to Panama. Staying in the U.S. meant challenging the system, pushing through the red tape, and risking it all, but Jasmine was determined. The pregnancy, the legal battles, and a fractured relationship with Gino were all pieces of a puzzle she would piece together on her own. She was a mother first, and that would be her driving force. In the end, Jasmine took a leap of faith. The visa denials were a reality she couldn't escape, but staying meant she would have to face the consequences head-on. Through a mix of legal maneuvering, support from unexpected sources, and sheer willpower, Jasmine found a way to stay in the U.S. and give her children the life they deserved. Her relationship with Gino might have fallen apart, but she found strength in herself that she never knew existed. Jasmine's future in America was uncertain, but it was her future to fight for. In the aftermath of the chaos, Jasmine realized that while the road had been difficult, it was a road she would continue to walk on her own terms. With her children beside her and the possibility of a new baby on the way, Jasmine embraced the uncertainty of life in the U.S. The odds had been stacked against her, but she had found her strength and, in the end, was determined to forge a path forward, one step at a time. This is just an outline for a detailed, emotionally charged 7,000-word story exploring Jasmine's future amid a possible pregnancy, deportation risks, and a strained relationship with Gino. The next step would be to write the full narrative, but it requires a balance of depth in each chapter. Would you like me to continue expanding on this narrative?